Proverbs chapter 26, Folly of Fools. Like snow in summer or rain at harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. Like a fluttering sparrow or a flying swallow, so an undeserved curse does not land. A whip for a horse, a bridle for a donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, else you will also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, else he will be wise in his own eyes. Like cutting off one's feet or drinking violence is sending a message by a fool's hand. Like a lame man's legs that hang lip, so is a proverb in the fool's mouth. Like tying a stone into a sling, so is giving honor to a fool. Like a thorn bush in a drunkard's hand is a proverb in a fool's mouth. Like an archer who wounds at random is one who hires a fool or any passerby. Like a dog that returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Do you see one wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than him. Folly of slackers. A slacker says, "There's a lion on the road, a lion is in the streets." As the door turns on its hinges, so a slacker turns on his bed. The slacker plunges his hand in the dish. He is too tired to bring it back to his mouth. A slacker is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who answer sensibly. Folly of Lashon Hara. Like one who takes a dog by his ears is a passerby who meddles in a quarrel not his own. Like a madman shooting fire bands and deadly arrows, so is one who deceives his friend and says, "I was only joking." Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, quarrels cease. As coals are to embers and wood to fire, so is a contentious person. To kindling strife, a gossip's words are like tasty morsels. They slide down into the innermost parts of the body. Like a silver glazing overlay earthenware are fervent lips with an evil heart. One who hates disguises it with his lips, but he stores up deceit within him. When he speaks favorably, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred may be concealed by deceit, his evil will be exposed before the assembly. Whoever digs a pit will fall in it, and whoever rolls up a stone, it will come back upon him. A lying tongue hates those crushed by it, and a flattering mouth causes ruin. Proverbs chapter 27, Do not boast. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and a sand a burden, but provocation by a fool is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but excessive the kisses of an enemy. One who is full loathes honeycomb, but to one who is hungry every bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that strays from its nest is a man that wanders from his home. Iron sharpens iron. As ointment and perfume gladden the heart, so the sweetness of one's friends come from a sincere counsel. Do not forsake your friend or your father's friend, nor go into your brother's house in the day of your disaster. Better a neighbor nearby than a brother far off. Be wise, my son, make my heart glad, so I may answer anyone who taunts me. The prudent see danger and hide, but the naive keep going and pay the penalty. Take a man's garment who puts up security for a stranger and holds it in pledge, a security for a seductive woman. If someone blesses his friend with a loud voice early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. Continual dripping in a day of steady rain, and a contentious wife are alike. Hiding her is like hiding the wind, or grasping oil with the right hand. As iron sharpens iron, so a person sharpens the countenance of his friend. Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit. Whoever takes care of his master will be honored. As water reflects the face, so a person's heart reflects the person. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and neither are the eyes of man. A crucible is for silver, and a furnace is for gold, but a person is proved by the praise he receives. Even if you pound the fool along with the grain and mortar with a pestle, his foolishness will never leave him. Know well the condition of your flocks, pay attention to your herds, for riches are not forever, nor a crown from generation to generation. When hay is removed and grass appears and grain from the hills is gathered in, lambs will provide you with clothing, and goats with the price of a field. There will be enough goat's milk for food, and food for your household, and sustenance for your maidservants. In the Proverbs chapter 28, Confidence, discernment, and integrity. The wicked flee when no one is pursuing, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a country is in rebellion, it has many rulers, but a man of discernment and knowledge maintains order. A poor man who oppresses the weak is like a pounding rain without food. Those who forsake Torah praise the wicked, but those who keep Torah stir them up. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek Adonai understand it fully. Better the poor who walks in his integrity than the rich whose ways are crooked. He who keeps Torah is a discerning son, but a companion of gluttons disgraces his father. Whoever increases his wealth by exorbitant interest gathers it for one kinder to the poor. One kinder to the poor. One who turns his ear from hearing Torah, even his prayer is an abomination. One who leads the upright astray along an evil path will fall into his own pit. But the blameless will inherit good. A rich person is wise in his own eyes, but a discerning poor person sees through him. When the righteous triumph, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise to power, people hide. One who covers up his transgressions will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them finds mercy. Blessed is the one who is always cautious, but whoever hardens his heart will fall into trouble. Like a roaring lion or a prowling bear is a wicked ruler over helpless people. An oppressive leader lacks judgment. One who hates unjust gain will prolong his life. A man tormented by the guilt of murder flees to the pit. Let no one support him. Whoever walks blamelessly will be safe, but whoever is perverse in his ways will fall suddenly. Wisdom about finances. Whoever works his land will be satisfied with food, but whoever chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. A faithful man will have many blessings, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, yet for a piece of bread a man may do wrong. A stingy man chases after riches, but does not know that poverty will overtake him. One who rebukes a man will in the end find more favor than one with a flattering tongue. Whoever robs his father or his mother says it's not a crime is a partner to him who destroys. A greedy soul stirs up strife, but one who trusts in Adonai prospers. Whoever trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks in wisdom will escape. One who gives to the poor will not lack, but the one who shuts his eyes will have many curses. When the wicked rise to power, people hide, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Proverbs chapter 29. One who remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. When the righteous thrive, people rejoice. When the wicked rule, people groan. Whoever loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. By justice, a king brings stability to a land, but one who takes bribes brings it ruin. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. And an evil man's wrongdoing is a trap, but the righteous sings and rejoices. A righteous person considers justice for the poor. The wicked one has no such concern. Mockers incite a city, but wise men turn away anger. If a wise man argues with a foolish man, he rants or laughs with no resolution. Bloodthirsty people hate a man of integrity and seek the soul of the upright. A fool gives full vent to his temper, but a wise man holds it back. If a ruler listens to lies, all his servants will be wicked. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common. Adonai gives light to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor with truth, his throne will always be secure. A rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. When the wicked thrive, wrongdoing increases, but the righteous will see their downfall. Correct your son, and he will give you rest. He will bring delight to your soul. Where there is no divine vision, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who keeps Torah. A servant cannot be corrected by words, for though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see someone hasty in his words? There is more hope for a fool than him. If someone pampers his slave from childhood, in the end he will be ungrateful. An angry man stirs up dissension, and a hot-headed one commits many transgressions. A man's pride will bring him low, but a humble spirit will gain honor. An accomplice of a thief is his own enemy. He hears the oath but says nothing. Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but the one who trusts in Adonai will be kept safe. Many seek an audience with the ruler, but from Adonai one receives justice. The righteous detest the unjust, and the wicked detest the upright. Proverbs 30. What is the name of his son? The words of Agur, son of Jakeh, an oracle, this man declared to Ithiel, and to Ukal. Surely I am more stupid than any man, and do not have a man's understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I knowledge of the Holy One, who has gone up into heaven and come down, who has gathered the wind in the palm of his hand, who has wrapped the waters in a cloak, who has established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is the name of his son, if you know? Every word of God is purified. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, or else he will rebuke you and prove you a liar. 2 things I ask of you. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but feed me with my allotted bread, lest I become satisfied and deny you and say, Who is Adonai? Or lest I become poor and still and profane the name of my God. a filthy, haughty generation. Do not slander a servant to his master, or he will curse you, and you pay for it. There is a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in his own eyes, and yet is not cleansed from its filth. There is a generation whose eyes are so haughty, whose eyelids are lifted up disdainfully. There is a generation whose teeth are swords, and whose molars are knives, to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. The leech has 2 daughters. Give, give. 3 things are never satisfied. 4 never say enough. Sheol, a barren womb. A man that is not satisfied with enough water, and fire that never says enough. The eyes that mock the father and scorns obeying a mother will be pecked out by ravens of the valley and eaten by young vultures. 3 things are too amazing for me. 4 I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the heart of the sea, and the way of a man with a maiden. Such is the way of an adulteress. She eats, wipes her mouth, and says, I have done nothing wrong. Under 3 things the earth trembles, and under 4 it cannot bear up. Under a slave when he becomes a king, a fool when he is stuffed with food, an unloved woman when she is married, and a handmaid when she displaces her mistress. Lessons from creatures. 4 things on earth are small, yet are exceedingly wise. Ants are creatures with little strength, yet they store up food in the summer. Conies are creatures with little power, yet they make their homes in cliffs. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard you can catch with the hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. 3 things are stately in their stride. 4 move with a stately bearing. A lion, mighty among beasts, who never backs down from anything. A strutting rooster, a male goat, and a king with his army around him. If you have acted foolishly, exalting yourself, or if you have planned evil, put your hand over your mouth. For as churning milk produces butter, and twisting the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife. Proverbs chapter 31, a mother's warning. The warning of King Lemuel, an oracle that his mother taught him. O my son of the womb, O my son of my vows, do not give your vigor to women, or your ways to what ruins kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, or for rulers to crave strong drink, lest they forget what is decreed, and prefer justice for all the oppressed. Give strong drink to the one who is dying, and wine to those who are bitterly distressed. Let him drink, forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth on behalf of those unable to speak. For the justice of all who are destitute, open your mouth, judge righteously. Plead the cause of the poor and the needy. A woman of valor. An accomplished woman who can find. Her value is far beyond rubies. Her husband's heart trusts in her, and he lacks nothing valuable. She brings him good and not harm all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax, and her hands work willingly. She is like merchant ships, bringing her sustenance from afar. She rises up while it is still night, provides food for her household and portions for her servant girls. She considers a field and buys it. From the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and invigorates her arms. She discerns that her business is good. Her lamp never goes out at night. She extends her hands to the spindle, and her palm grasps the spinning wheel. She spread out her palms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her house, for her whole household is clothed in scarlet wool. She makes her own luxurious coverings. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gates. When he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes to the merchants. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the days to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom. A lesson of kindness is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and bless her. Many daughters have excelled, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears Adonai will be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands. Let her deeds be her praise at the gates.